During a House of Commons debate in Westminster Hall, Reform UK MP James McMurdoch rubbishes claims from Labour MPs that the use of camera technology by police forces is biased against ethnic minorities. In today's video, we will watch and react to this, whilst also going over all of the latest news from up and down the country. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and join our fast-growing community. Just a quick one to say we have new Make Britain Great, again t-shirts available on our store. Go grab them now. They are available at britishstand.com or check the link in the description. As stated in the intro, during a House of Commons debate in Westminster Hall, Reform UK MP James McMurdoch rubbishes claims from Labour MPs that the use of camera technology by police forces is biased against ethnic minorities. Have a watch.
Facial recognition data has racial bias. That is, it's deeply flawed when attempting to identify people with the darkest skin tones, just as Getty Images is. And the Metropolitan Police's own testing of its facial recognition algorithm identified disproportionately higher inaccuracy rates when attempting to identify people of colour and women. People of colour are already disproportionately stopped and searched at higher rates, and the use of potentially flawed technology will only serve to increase the rate at which ethnic minorities are stopped, searched and possibly even incorrectly detained, further dampening trust in the police amongst these communities, which we know needs to be resolved.
Because I just want us all to be careful that we aren't speaking in terms of making assumptions that aren't necessarily right. Now, I'm not trying to take a firm position here, but there have been a number of comments from a few places around the room on racial disparity, and I think it would be remiss for us to just let those things be said without making the point that I'm not 100% sure that all those things are 100% accurate. But if we are going to discuss it, can we please not make any leading assumptions? Because we live in a fair society, we live in a very, very good society, and I think if someone was to listen to this debate just as a standalone, they would possibly walk away with an impression that I don't believe would be strictly fair.
So for the benefit of the public and yourself, I think it's very important to note that these are not just general assumptions being made. They are based on data, and they are based on evidence. And there are much further things that we could give you, like my own personal experience and the experience of others, but those specific points were made with evidence.
What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. In other news, a new Met Police survey has revealed that officers feel unsafe at the Hill Carnival, branding it a war zone where they are treated as lambs to slaughter. The survey found that 90% of officers who responded to the questionnaire said they felt unsafe working at the carnival. Around 25% were also found to have been assaulted at the annual event. Hill Carnival is held every August, with the festival celebrating Caribbean culture on the streets of West London. However, the gathering, which is attended by 2 million people, is infamous for being a hotspot for antisocial behaviour and violence. The festival sees excessive drinking and drug use, as well as serious violence, including stabbings. This year alone, there were 2 murders, 8 stabbings, and 349 arrests. In addition, 61 police officers were assaulted. In the survey, officers were asked to describe their work environment at the carnival. One said, "Hell, it's a war zone we are sent into year after year." Another added, "Dangerous. Officers are treated as lambs to slaughter." A third described the police operation as an exercise in self-torture, and a fourth said they would rather crawl naked through broken glass. This survey is part of a 24-page questionnaire aimed at improving safety at the festival for the public and police. The Met's Deputy Assistant Commissioner said it is necessary to change how the carnival is carried out, and said the level of crime was unacceptable. He said, "There is a need for a step change in the way it is being run if the significant crowd safety risks are to be addressed and to avoid, in a worst-case scenario, a mass casualty event caused by overcrowding." However, Hill Carnival Ltd, the organisers of the event, said the survey was driven by limited solid data and was designed to create negative headlines around the festival. They said, "It returned views at best of just 7% of potential officers on duty, and much of it highlights concerns they have about their general well-being at the event in regards to food and rest. This is a staff management issue for the Metropolitan Police. There have been calls for the carnival to be moved to a place that is easier to police, such as Hyde Park. Lastly, farmers across Britain are planning their next moves to protest Rachel Reeves's unpopular inheritance tax, following a peaceful demonstration in central London that failed to shift the government's stance. The controversy stems from Chancellor Rachel Reeves's decision to introduce a 20% inheritance tax on farm assets over £1 million in her latest budget. This has sparked outrage, particularly among asset-rich, cash-poor family farms that struggle to pay the tax bill using farm profits alone. Critics argue this will also worsen the UK's food security. On November 19th, the farming community staged a massive protest in central London, but the government has remained firm. In response, many farmers are considering more drastic actions, including French-style protests targeting supermarket supply chains. An arable farmer from South Nottinghamshire said he believed empty supermarket shelves was the only way Labour might listen. He said, "This will get us back in the headlines when no bread is on the shelves. I know there are imports available, but they can't arrange imports so quickly that there wouldn't be a big noticeable gap on the bread aisles for a period. The merchants would have to support us or risk losing our custom forever." Clive Bailey, a farmer who helped organise the November 19th protest, warned that blocking supermarket distribution centres might be the only way to force the government to listen. He explained, "You block their distribution centres, take out 1,000 at a time. You can do it away from roads that affect people's daily lives, keeping the public on side." However, not all farmers agree with this aggressive approach. Some advocate for more peaceful methods, like erecting campaign signs or attending MPs' surgeries. For many, the idea of empty supermarket shelves seems like the most effective way to gain attention. The British Retail Consortium, responding to the possibility of strikes, assured that retailers are monitoring the situation closely and are prepared to handle disruptions without impacting customers. As tensions rise, attention is also turning to Europe, where French farmers are staging massive protests over a new trade deal with South America's Mercosur bloc. These protests have included road blockages, manure dumping, and tractor convoys disrupting towns. With pressure mounting on Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer, all eyes will be on Wednesday, when rural MPs will push for a motion to cancel the controversial changes to agricultural property relief. The government's response could signal how willing they are to back down in the face of growing unrest. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British political content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.